From what I've seen of the few known sociopaths that I've been around that know they are sociopaths and claim to be sociopaths, that I that I was around in the past few years, is that they're a lot better at the false image. They're a lot better at um, they're a lot better at the con than the narcissist is. Um, and they have a better mask usually. They're more likable than the narcissist false mask. Um, and so that's kind of what I noticed being around the few that I've been around that have openly identified of being sociopaths. I mean, they're proud of being sociopaths. They don't hide what they are like a narcissist hides what they are. And talk about it. Um, so although a large chunk of narcissists, unless you're one of the greater narcissists, you don't really know you're a narcissist. Only the people around you know you're a narcissist. Um, because like 80% of narcissists don't know they are narcissists. So you got to remember that. And they go around thinking they're perfect and everybody else is defective. Um, it's kind of sad to watch, but um, it's a reality. So just from my observations, I was just thinking about that, like, um, because I do think that um, the sociopath kind of targets narcissists because uh, um, they're easier. It's easier for a sociopath to trick a narcissist than a narcissist to trick a sociopath. So um, the narcissist may think the sociopath is not a sociopath. You know what I mean? Like that the act is so good, and so a lot of them are like just uh, baiting narcissists in like bars and places like that. Um, so it's just kind of what I've noticed over the past few years, um, with more experience around sociopaths, being around them. Um, I don't hang out with them now, but because I know they don't feel empathy, so it's kind of a risk, you know, to be around someone that doesn't feel empathy. So, um, I mean, I can shut off my empathy when I'm around these individuals, but I do have empathy for when I'm not around these individuals. Like I do feel what other people feel that are suffering, type of thing. So I'm not totally like them because of that fact. Is I still can feel empathy, but I can shut it off like they can. But their empathy is always shut off 24/7. Um, they probably never felt empathy since they were kids, you know. But it's just something I kind of noticed is they're better than a narcissist is at what they do. They're a lot better. Um, they're a lot more likable. The sociopath is they're a lot more charming. They're a lot more confident. Um, they are very. Um, they think they're the shit, like more than a narcissist does. You know, narcissists is just pretend thinking they're awesome, but a sociopath really does think they're awesome. You know, like from what I've seen. But anyways, that's kind of why I see them, um, as far as dangerous personalities go. I see them like the narcissist is kind of at the bottom. They're kind of the the fuck up ones of the group of the bunch. They're kind of the joke of the bunch. Um, that's why they're called the bottom feeders of all those, like the psychopaths and sociopaths and borderlines. That's kind of why the narcissist is seen as kind of like the joke, of that among them. Um, so um, because they're not as good at the con as the other ones are. They're not as they get hunted by the sociopaths, like that's why it's not the other way around. you know, it's usually the sociopath that is the better trickster, um, for sure. Um, the more likable one in his circles. But it's just something I noticed. I don't have a ton of experience around sociopaths, but I have lived with one for about a year. Um, so I have that experience of seeing them up close like that. So they're definitely more likable than a narcissist. Way more likable. So that's why they're so good at what they do. They're more likable. Their their false self is better. And so you got to be careful of them too. Not just narcissists out there, um, because I don't. Some narcissists become sociopaths, and some narcissists are psychopaths, but um, not all narcissists are psychopaths, and not all narcissists are sociopaths. So, um, yeah, but all psychopaths are narcissists. You know, they're the whole shebang, the whole 9 yards. So, and they're the dangerous ones. They're the real dangerous ones. I mean, they can be as far up as a CEO of a company. They could be as far up as a president. Um, so they can easily become in those positions, very easily because they don't feel empathy, so they can just be cutthroat towards uh, everybody, But anyways, just my 2 cents on it all. I don't know why I'm thinking about uh, the sociopaths hunting the narcissists out there today, but it's just been on my mind for some reason, like because like I'm not ready to uh, mess around with those dangerous personalities right now. Like I'm kind of done with it all, as far as like publicly being around them. Now that I know how dangerous they are, when you're entangled with them, uh, your life's in danger if you're entangled with them. Your life's totally in danger, not just physically, but like on a lot of levels. You're in danger. Your life is on the line, and so I realized that. So eventually, when I'm a little stronger, I'll start, you know, being a little more confident around just being around them in public places because it's not like you can avoid them totally, but you got to know how to deflect them and reverse manipulate them if you want to go that route, um, because you already know the whole playbook. It's the same thing, over and over, starting with the idealization phase, the love bombing, um, starting with that, like the over niceness, the unusually over nice, overly kindness, just a little too much, that's a red flag big time that you're dealing with one of them. Or um, so been fooled by a few love bombs myself. So, but it doesn't work on me quite as much because I can spot it a lot easier. It's just kind of like, oh, I know what they're doing. Oh, I know what they are now. You know, it's not like before of like, oh, they like me. Oh, they really like me. It's not like that anymore. Um, so I can kind of see the act for what it is, uh, pretty pretty easily now. Um, I still see them as very freaky individuals though. Like, um, just because I know not a lot of people believe this, but in my personal experience, there's there's a demon in them, like, uh, running the show, you know, uh, underneath that mask, there's a demon like running that show, like a professional demon. It's way too good. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. So yeah, in that respect, they're kind of freaky, with the whole with their behaviors and such. Um, to me now, it's just like, before I thought they were a real person. Like when I was, you know, younger, I thought they were real people, but they're not. They're pretending to be real people, among the people, and it's just like, oh shit. But I can see how they fool kids pretty easily, um, like they fooled me when I was younger. Like I knew they couldn't feel love, but I didn't understand why they couldn't feel love or what was wrong with them. Like, why the hell can't they feel any emotion of love? Um, I couldn't figure it out why. And I could feel it like pretty easily when I was a kid. I could feel love pretty easily. Um, I don't feel it as much or as I did back then. Like I definitely felt more love as a kid, before these predators just pretty much targeted me 24/7. It felt like, um, and I didn't know why. Just like, I just thought that was normal behavior because that's all I saw was just this crazy behavior from uh, these individuals growing up, and so I thought that was the normal of, and it kind of is the normal of, like, most of society that I've seen. Like their behavior is kind of normal. So in that respect, it is kind of crazy, that there are very few people that are actually like me that can actually feel some ounce, even an ounce of empathy. There's very few that can even feel an ounce, like myself. There's people that can feel more empathy than I can, but just my ounce of empathy is way more than they can feel. They can't feel any of it. They can't feel love at all. Nothing. Nothing. And I think that's a crazy way to live. It's just like, you can't love any of your possessions. You can't love any of your uh, partners in your life. You can't love any of your children. you can't love anything, and that's probably why they have so much hate in themselves. It's just they hate everybody because they can't love anybody. They can't connect at all. They can't they they can't feel real intimacy. I mean, sure they can have sex and stuff, but as far as intimacy, they've never had intimacy. Never. And that's a crazy, crazy reality. And I think they hate that they can't feel intimacy. They can't pair bond. They can't get close to anybody. And so it's a crazy thing. But um, yeah, just think about that. They've never had a real relationship before. Let that sink in. They've never had a real relationship with another human being. Never. Never. Maybe when they were kids, before before they went down this road of being a con artist, basically, and losing all their empathy. Maybe they felt empathy when they were young, before they uh, were traumatized by something, or were conditioned by someone to be like this. Um, but they definitely do not feel empathy as adults. None. I don't care how good their pretending is. They don't feel empathy on any level. They can't feel love on any level. They've never loved anybody as an adult. And maybe not even loved anybody as a teenager. You know, no connecting at all. It's just, and now I kind of understand why some people call them empty meat suits, because they're dead. They're really dead. Like I've been around them most of my life. They're dead. They're more dead than I am. And I'm pretty dead. But I think I'm dead because of being around them for so long. They really suck the soul out of you, and they make you dead like them, and they make you hateful like them. And they make you like uh, convince yourself that there's no God like them. Like most of them are atheists. And they're trying to convince themselves 24/7 that there's no God, there's no consequence for what I'm doing. But that their delusion isn't the reality. They think whatever's in their head is fact. They think they're a god in their minds, like, and they think that's the fact, is there a god up here. But they're just kind of a joke to everybody else. Like, it's just like, oh, how sad. But anyways, like, people say that I'm sad and all that stuff, which is kind of true. Like, I don't live the greatest life. I've had a shitty life. But I've been around these covert narcissists my whole life. Literally, I've literally been around them my whole life. Been uh, targeted, gaslighted, uh, you name it. You know, physically attacked, um, messed with mentally with the double bind kind of stuff, no win situations. Plus, they used the cult that they were in as an extra weapon. The rules of the cult, you have to follow the rules of the cult. You have to obey, because they all think like cult leaders. They all think they're like a god cult leader, and it's true. And that's why they gravitate towards cults. Uh, so they uh, they thrive in those kind of situations, those kind of organizations. They love those, you know, especially the ones that make them to that convince them that they're actually gods, and even though they're just sad human beings, they love the cults that tell them that they're gods. So, anyways, just things that I've witnessed over the last few decades, um, of being around these individuals. Um, so sometimes it helps to talk about what you've seen, because what I have seen and experienced was not normal, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that it wasn't normal. Well, I kind of did when I saw their mask slip. When their mask slipped the first time, I knew something was off. Something wasn't normal with the whole situation I was born into. But I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what was wrong with them. I didn't know what anything about what a narcissist is, a covert narcissist, all that stuff. I didn't know all that stuff. I mean, they don't teach you that stuff in school, you know, that these demons are walking around, just messing, messing with people, basically. Just like pretending to be real people when they're not, just putting on this fake show, you know. They don't teach that shit in school. They don't even, they, I mean, I can see how you can kind of get a idea about it in religion, of this kind of behavior with the demons taking over people's bodies and stuff, and like that's in the Bible, that kind of stuff, and it might just be just the same thing going on in our time. So basically, like if you want to like see where it's happened before, you just go straight to the Bible, you know. So, um, despite what they say about, uh, despite what anybody says about the Bible, uh, the demon part is, might, the demon part's pretty real. No joke. Um, and yeah, so I think it's just the same rigmarole as back then, just happening now. It's just like the same thing, the same wars going on, but they're just, uh, I mean, the technology around us is different, but like the same war is going on. It's just the technology is different, that we're around or have. That's the only difference. It's just, but it's the same war. I mean, it's the same war, but there was just no cars back then. Basically, there were no airplanes back then, but it's the same exact war without those things. You know what I mean? So, if that makes any sense. So, anyways, I gotta get to work, so I will talk to you later. Just something that's been on my mind today, um, these things, so I just wanted to talk about it. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Uh, as far as talk to the real people later, not the narcopaths, not the narcissists. Those aren't real people. I don't care about you guys. Freaking robots walking around. I don't care about you guys. So, anyways, see ya.